Hello everyone. So today we are going to be speaking about misconceptions and stigma around autism. So this was a video that I feel really passionate about, sit and think about quite frequently, a lot of various components. So the first part that I want to address is the stigma that being autistic means that you are less intelligent. Okay, so my personal experience with this is I always describe myself as intellectual. I always love challenging myself with very complicated material. My major at Ohio State actually consists of challenging yourself with various difficult materials. So one of my classes was criminal investigation, and the professor had actually provided us with assignments that were graduate level assignments. And it was, I believe, a 5-question assignment. And if you got just one part of the assignment wrong, it was going to throw off the whole thing, because it was basically a case file. So you are essentially building the case of what would be turned into a trial. If you miss one component of it, it's gonna dramatically change everything. But this is just one misconception, is that being on the spectrum means that you are less intelligent or that you don't frequently understand things. So one thing that I wanted to illuminate is that we do process things a little bit slower. At least in my situation, I process things a little bit slower. But it doesn't mean less intelligent. Because the thing is, we take in so much more information. So yes, it does come at a slower rate, and it's not instant or quick, but when we do produce it, it comes in a more organized and more systematic fashion. You're going to get more detail, you're going to get more content. So that is the piece of that. The second part is autistic people look different. So I guess I don't quite understand this one, because for the most part, being on the spectrum, we have what you call a invisible disability. You have a disability, but right away, it's not always clear that you are on the spectrum. And in my personal situation, I would go throughout work, at my university classes, various other settings, and most people would not know that I was on the spectrum until I disclosed to them. So there isn't, that's a misconception and a stigma, that there is a specific look and that you naturally look different. The third component is that autistic people are childlike. This is something that really rattled me, because I don't, my actions and my behaviors, I don't consider of that degree. The way that I conduct myself on a daily basis, from my work to what I study, what I research. This is another dangerous misconception and stigma. Now I wanted to highlight the internalization of some of these stigmas. So the first is extreme low self-esteem. For the longest, I actually felt the need to mask, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be accepted. Because usually these stigmas and these misconceptions automatically come to people's brain sometimes, when they hear the word autism. One other thing that I wanted to get into too is, because I see it pretty frequently on various forms of social media, is if someone posts a particular video, or if they're doing something that wouldn't be, it's kind of like different. Like someone might post in the comments like they're acoustic, which is extremely um it's really offensive, because so they're overall in the word, they're meaning autistic, but they're saying acoustic. And then like when people internalize stuff like that, it's extremely hurtful, and it greatly impacts their self-esteem. So the second thing that I wanted to highlight, which was another personal battle of mine, is running from the idea that because you have autism that you are childlike, it shouldn't be taken seriously. Yeah, this is it's a battle. Um, it is it's a very strong battle of mine. Um, yeah. The thing is, like, um, I just try to work through these situations and try to like remind myself that these stigmas and these misconceptions aren't real. That some of the labels and some of the things that are put out there simply are not true. Um, Knowing my personality, knowing my strengths, knowing my characteristics, just reminding myself that it's it doesn't align with like what the sometimes like what that narrative is put out there. Um, that I'm a highly intelligent individual. That just because there's a misconception or a stigma that many people